to the channel, back in the garage tonight, and the temperature has dropped once again, but that's not going to stop me talking all about things Audi TT with you guys at home. So welcome along. Again, I'm Andy, and I am the host of the Andycharger channel. So hope you're having a good evening. Give the feed a thumbs up if you're out there, and do put a little comment in the chat so I know who's on tonight. So I hope you had a good week. Hope you had a good weekend. There's a couple of shows on this weekend, wasn't there? So I'd be interested to see how people got on. Did you go to Podium Place on Saturday? Did you get involved in Nick Clark's great meet down there? Hello, Christoph. How you doing, buddy? All good. Hope you're all well. Hope you had a good weekend. If you did go to Podium Place, what was your favourite car? What did you see? Be interested to hear all about that. Now, the video went live last night on the Audi TT Mark 1 3.2 V6 prices. If you've not checked out that video, I highly recommend you do. We're going to be touching on that tonight because I'm interested to see what your feedback is. I think we've had 1,500 views of it so far, so a lot of people have been checking it out, finding. Yeah, I'm not too bad, Stu. I've got my heated gilet on thanks to Carl Foreman, and it's got the batteries on it tonight, so you can see it's warming up. So thanks as always to Carl for supplying with this. I haven't got the shoes on tonight though, Carl, so I haven't used those yet. So I'm saving those for a really cold evening. Hello, Max Motorsport. How you doing, buddy? Again, so we're back in the garage tonight, and you see we're still with the 3.2. You'll notice the bumper is still on. I just have not had a chance to do it. I've had a busy weekend. You name it, I've been doing it. But hello from Utah. Hello back at you in Utah. That's furthest person on so far tonight. Hope everything's going well in the US for you. So guys, let me know in the chat. Hello, Andy. I know you said you were hoping to get on, so good to see you on, buddy. Hello from Estonia. Wow, we've got people on. We're really worldwide tonight. Guys, let me know in the comments where you are dialing in from tonight. It's great to see we've got so many people from around the world joining on. Thank you for your helpful, informative videos. TV010, you are more than welcome. That's what I do it for. I do the videos to help you all out, solve your problems, save you the garage bills, and hopefully it's all good. Good evening, sir. Richard, how you doing, buddy? Always good to have you on. I hope you enjoyed Podium Place. Touched on that already tonight. Talking about who went there. I know you were there because I did see your car in the pictures. I sort of, even though I've not seen your car in the flesh yet, I knew that would be you. So I hope you had a good time at Podium. Hello, Gina. How are you doing? You're at work in Winchester. I was down in Winchester, or just up the road in Eastleigh last Tuesday. So it's a shame that it's not next week because we could have met up for some dinner. Out on holiday in... Oh, hello, mate. You're on holiday in Budapest. Hope you're good. Your car was obviously the cover car, the garage queen for yesterday's video that went out. As you know, we put the video out last night on the changing prices on the 3.2 V6, which we are going to touch on tonight because I think it's a really important topic. It's generated a lot of chat, actually, interestingly, on both YouTube and also on the 3.2 owners group. It did really generate a lot of interest. I think there'd been 120 likes on Facebook before the video had even gone live because it was generating so much chat. So we will touch on that tonight. I think it's definitely got some information going. Dan Spoons, that's you, buddy. How are you doing? Good to have you on tonight. Ypres Hotel booked for April. Brilliant news, guys. If you're watching tonight, and you're coming to Howard Lee's on as well. Howard, how are you doing, buddy? I hope you're all good. Got a lot of old friends on tonight. That's great to see. Guys, if you are coming to the International TT show this April, let's have a hands up in the chat. I know there's a lot of you that are in this list here of people that are coming tonight. I know there's definitely a few of you out there. I can tell by the names, people that are coming. Phil Richardson, how you doing over in Wiltshire? Hope you're good as well, buddy. Hope life is treating you well. So we've got people on from all over there. Budapest, so Gina's coming. I knew Gina's coming. You're coming over with us in the convoy, aren't you, Gina? So that's all good. I think there's going to be, I think Spoons is coming. Richard's coming. Yeah, we've got a few of you that are on tonight. So I think we've got a massive UK contingent going this year. Now, every year, as you know, because it's myself, Simon Matthews in the UK, we are like two of the co-organisers along with Frank Schmulders in Holland. So between the three of us, we try and get a bit of a spin going around it and get some interest in it. And I think because of that, for Simon and me in the UK, we get a lot of UK cars coming along, but also a lot of French cars, German cars, Belgian cars, Dutch cars. There was a whole host of cars last year, some beautiful examples as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you for the first time as well. Andy, Mortimer, you're in this list as well. I know you're coming because you're bringing that lovely Merlin Purple Roadster for the first time. So I think that's going to be great to see that in the flesh. Also, unfortunately, I think, mate, is you'll try and get to meet Nasty though. Yeah, definitely do it, Christoph. Alex, you're coming. I know you're coming now. You'll be there as well. It's going to be a great show as always. Yeah, all booked for the international. Yeah, but don't forget, it's not going to. The TT shows won't end with the international TT show. No, no, no. Because don't forget, this summer we will be holding Springfest twice. So last year we held Springfest here in the garden. We had 40 TTs in the garden. In fact, Saturday I was actually cutting trees down in the garden to make a few more spaces, believe it or not. So TT Springfest will be held yet again here. Hello, Glenn. How you doing, buddy? Glenn the Grab from TikTok fame. Mr. Watson, how you doing? Well, you are also going to be at Ypres this year as well. Your lovely car. So we've got a lot of people in this chat that are going to be there this year. But we'll say we are going to also organise Springfest in the garden once again. I might try and get 45 cars in this year, but I'm also going to hold it twice because there are people that can't always make the date, and I do want to make sure I can even it out and open up to more people. So if you can't make one date, hopefully we'll get you along in the garden for another one. It's normally a great day. We always have good weather with it in the garden, which is, when I say that, I should touch on wood, shouldn't I? But we always have good weather. Hopefully we'll have good weather yet again this year on both days, and keep the ground nice and hard. Unfortunately, last year we had someone turn up the day before on the Saturday. I think it was a Saturday show, and they're driven all the way down from Northampton, so they had to turn around and go home. So hopefully they'll be able to make it this year and not get the date wrong. So that'd be good to see them. But yeah, so we will touch on a few subjects tonight. I'm also going to go back over the subjects of the winter and jump starters. We talked about it last week because I've dug them all out tonight. Look, I've got a whole host of them here to talk about tonight, and also the pros and cons of them. And also make sure you know what you're buying, because there are some good ones, there are some bad ones, and there are also ones that aren't quite oomphy enough to do the job on a lot of our cars. So I'm going to cover that off as well tonight. Short and drive shaft this weekend. Hope you'll be back on wheels tomorrow. Brilliant. You've been busy, Glenn. You're always busy on that car, though. But yeah, so in the week, you probably remember last week we talked about in the winter how important it is to have a jump starter in your car, because the TT notoriously has failed batteries. A lot of us have got our cars now in the stage that they're not daily drivers anymore, that they are weekend toys. This time of year, it's cold, it's killing the batteries. If you haven't got on a trickle charger, why not? You need to get it on a trickle charger. But if you haven't got it on a trickle charger, you might need to give it a little extra jump to get it going. So I've got a selection of them here to talk about, to share my knowledge and what I know and what I found out. And the reason I'm saying that the different ones I've got is they're actually different rated power of output. So you start off with, believe it or not, I'm going to show you my oldest one. This is what I sent to the channel very early on, and it's still going today. So this is the Top Don JS 1200. I don't think they even make it anymore. I think the 15 is the lowest one. It's quite a small device, right? But it jump starts this car. This is the 3.2. So it's got the bigger battery, and this will get it going. But what you have to have on this, it's got a little extra button on the side to give you some extra charge to jump it, get that car going. So this will do a job. So when people talk about, has it got an oomph, it will do it. Now, if we look on the back, this has got 10,000 amp hours of storage, right? 10,000. And then I'm going to jump to something I was sent this week, right? And I'm going to show you the difference. Made by the same company. And now it comes with a lovely charging case. Look at this big boy. This is the JS 3000. Right? I'm going to hold them both up to show the difference. This is not a perspective thing either. Look, that's the difference in size. So that is the 3000. That's the 1200, right? So the 1200 to buy, or the 1500 is about £80 now, and it will do a job. It will get your car going. But I know Glenn talked about this the other week, having a more powerful one. So that one will do 20. That'll do a 12 volt. This will do 24 volt battery. So this will do lorries and stuff, boats, you name it. So that is a bigger boy. It's got over double the capacity of the battery storage. So if you're worried about getting a car going, that's definitely one for you. It's got a nice big light on it as well. It's got a great carry case, and it's got a nice big handle. It feels a lot heavier. I think it's a lot more sturdy. The case is more sturdy, but they're both great ones. But so if you're looking for a really heavy duty one. I think that's quite a good one, just so you know. So it comes with a carry case. Now, that's all very well and good, right? Having something like that. But what if you have got a car like mine that's got an adjusted, best way to describe it, maybe an OEM plus stereo. So this guy in this car has got an Apple CarPlay in it, right? So because it's got Apple CarPlay, it's got a double-did Apple CarPlay, and everything for the controls, the air conditioning, the cigarette drawer, everything is all moved down. And you are sacrificing the ability to have a cigarette lighter in the car. Now, what that stops you doing is if you've got no cigarette lighter, you've got no way of plugging in the air compressor to pump your tyres up. So that's where one of these gadgets come in useful. So if you are looking to buy one, what I would recommend, if you don't have a tyre pump, some of these battery packs now come with a tyre inflator. And I'm going to show you one of those now. So this is definitely worth doing. Again, this isn't me selling anything. This is me talking about the things I've been sent, so you know about these. And okay, you haven't got to buy these brands. These are just the different styles of things and what they can do, okay? So this one is made by AC Mount, right? Just so you know. And what this has, it has a light on the end. It has a jump pack on it. And it also has this hole here for doing a tyre inflator. So you can screw in, if I just open the zip on this one, it says, I'll just pull out the tube. I use this all the time because my Tesla's got a slow puncher on the front. This guy, you plug this in like that, and it's an air compressor as well. So this is an absolute lifesaver. This jumps cars, it'll jump the TTs, no problem. And it also has that pump on it as well. So that's really good one, right? I highly recommend that. But one of my favourite ones for doing jobs, although it's not the biggest, it's probably one of the cheaper ones, is this Auxito one. Now, Auxito, you might remember, you can tell by the front of it what it's got on it. It's got a big bright light on it as well. So it'll jump start your car, but it's also a great floodlight for working on your car. So if you need a light and you also need a jump pack, this is the gadget for you because it's got a lovely big floodlight and it's also got a jump pack capability. So that is the Auxito, just called Auxito Jump Starter, that one. But the output of that, the capacity, it's got 38 amp hours of power, and it's got the start voltage of 12 volts. So that will do a 12 volt. It won't do the big cars, and it won't do the big cars. We won't do the lorries, but it will do everything else. So that's also another good one. So they're definitely things. You can see they do different styles, you know. So you've got air compressor ones, you've got floodlight ones, but they all do a jump start. And of course, what they also do is they will also charge your mobile phones up as well. So it's handy if you're out traveling. Maybe you're going to a festival. Maybe you're going away for the weekend. Maybe you're going to Ypres. You need to keep your car battery. Thank you, Mr. GMT, for sending me a donation. Thank you very much. Most appreciated. Always a gent and a scholar for sending me a little bit of money for a cup of tea every week, which I could do with tonight because I'm absolutely frozen now. My hands are really cold. So I've got this lovely jelly on, but I've got my hands in my pockets. If anyone wants to send me a cup of tea, send me a super thanks. That'd be most appreciated. Then I can go and get a cup of tea. But all of these gadgets, right, you can pick them up from different price points. You can get them on TikTok Shop. You can get them on Amazon, all those sort of places. And they start from about £30 or £40. But at that end of the market, can't guarantee what you're getting. These ones I've got here, they start about £50 or £60, £70. That big guy, the big one, the GS3000, that's £199. Now, luckily, I was sent that by Top Don because they sent me quite a few of these over the time. It's a lot of money, but it will start your truck. So there's always a good thing to have. So they're just a few things I thought I'd just touch on to give you an idea. Let me know which one you maybe have. Have you got one yourself in the car? Have you had a situation where you need to get out of trouble? I bet you have. Highly recommend getting yourself one of those if you don't already have one. So that's the jump starters. Again, touching on the car, the bumper is still on. I might try and take it off later this evening if I get a chance, see if we can get it off and we can start looking at that alternator because the alternator still needs to come off this car. Yeah, so I've got the work to do. I know what I've got to do on it. I know how hard the job's going to be, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I thought we'd go back and we would touch on the video I put out live yesterday. It's generated a lot of feedback. It's generated a lot of pros and cons. A lot of people are maybe, good evening, Stephen. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you on. A lot of people are agreeing with me, what I'm saying. I mean, I've based it on facts, so it's not like I'm making anything up, and I've done a lot of research in the market. But the 3.2, Mark 1 3.2 has definitely turned the corner, and the prices are on the uptick. Now, if you remember rightly, I had a lovely Mauritius Blue 3.2, this papaya one, and I bought that in 2022, I think, and I paid £2,650 for it. Got it really cheap. I just hit 1,000 subscribers on the channel, and one of the subscribers said, I've got one for sale. If you're interested, Andy, would you like to buy it? Guys, if you ever have a car that comes up that you think, oh, maybe Andy would be interested, something a bit interesting, something a bit cheap, something you don't want anymore, you want to give away, definitely get in touch with me, because it might be a project in it at some point for us to do some work on. So definitely always get in touch if you've got an idea on those sort of things. But this guy got in touch with me. He wanted to sell the car. I bought it, and I sold that 18 months ago for $3,250. So I made £600 a deal. Obviously, you don't make any money, because the money you spend on these cars on maintenance, fixing them, servicing, MOTs, a lot, you never make money on them. But I made, technically on the sale price, £600 from where I started, which I thought was quite good. But the market was quite poor at the time. You could pick up, or I picked up this papaya at the same time for £5,250. And as you know, literally last month, someone got in touch that was looking to buy one. And we got onto the subject of maybe mine might be for sale. I was just sort of testing the market, and someone offered me £10,000 for it. I didn't take it, and I did put that out to a lot of people in our circle, asking for their advice, what they would do, including Bryn. I asked BWSTT what his thoughts were on it as well, and he was very much of the ilk that you wouldn't get your hands on another one, and 10 grand is 10 grand sort of approach. And I totally agree. And I needed someone like that to sort of talk some sense to me, because I was seeing the numbers and I thought, well, I could sell it, and then, but at the end of the day, if I sold it, I would probably be heartbroken. I'd absolutely regret it, and someone would be rubbing their hands, because roll the clock forward to where we were from last year to now, in 18 months, it's almost doubled in price, the car, which is fantastic. Looking on Auto Trader, as you've probably seen from the video, there's only one 3.2 for sale right now, under £3,000. 225s, 180s on the 1.8 brand. You can get a whole host of cars on Auto Trader under £2,000. So they don't seem to be coming up. And going back a year ago, while the 3.2 was always sitting slightly above the 1.8, it wasn't that much of a difference. You could pick them up cheap. You could pick up a 3.2 for 2 grand. And the thing is now that to get these cars serviceable, those cheap cars are going to probably need chains, or they're going to need the DSG looking at. And I know, Howard, if you're still on here, I know that your mechatronics went on your Roadster, cost you an arm and a leg to get that sorted. I think, it's probably at that point where you need those jobs doing, it makes it become uneconomical to keep it on the road. This car really, no matter what I needed to do to it, I think I'd get it done, whether it be chains, whether it be DSG, the mechatronics, whatever it needed, I would get it done, because the car means more to me now, I think, than the money would cost to lay out. So even though I could probably get money out of a breaker, maybe if it got to that stage, I'm sure it wouldn't for the papaya, but I would never, break the car. But they are becoming that point. People haven't got the money to spend. The car might be increasing in mileage. It's getting tired. It makes it uneconomical to throw £2,500, because that's what it costs to get the chains done decently into a car. So it then falls into the hands of the breaker market, and we've got some fantastic breakers around the UK. And the good thing about the breakers are that they are, by breaking the cars and getting the parts into circulation, they are keeping our cars going. For those of us that can't get parts anymore for certain parts, as we've talked before, the subframes on the cars, you can't buy the subframes new anymore. So then you fall into the world of a breaker might have one, and you can keep your car going. So they're always worth speaking to these guys and getting parts. A lot of parts aren't available, but they will keep your car running. So you're losing the cheap tied cars, which is then reducing the number of 3.2s down, which means the ones that are left are then the good cars, the ones that have been looked after, they've had a lot of maintenance. And because they are becoming more scarce, more rare, then of course the price, the asking price goes up, because we know supply and demand is key. And one of the big comments, and I'm just going to scroll down. I've not seen any comments for a while. I don't know if, hopefully I'm still online. If I am still online and still talking, you can hear me, please let me know in the comments. If you are thinking about buying a 3.2 right now, I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on the market, because there's a lot of people saying there's a few cars for sale, but no good ones. And I don't know if that means there's no good ones at all, or if it means there's no good ones within the price bracket. Because when I looked on Auto Trader, there were a load of cars, 3.2s, sitting between the 4.5 and 6.5 bracket. That sort of like $5 to $6 grand mark, or loads of it. Hi Howard, good to see you still there, buddy. I know that you had some big problems, didn't you, with that Mechatronics when I remember when I first got back in touch. Flabber Jabber, why a 3.2? What's so special? Where do I start? The sound is probably the big thing for me, Flabber Jabber. The sound is amazing. You turn the engine on. In fact, someone said to me in one of the comments yesterday that they prefer the sound that the 1.8 turbo makes. But I think personally, the sound, the 3.2, the exhaust note it makes, go and watch my video that I did yesterday that I put live. And at times in that video, I've highlighted the sound of the car. I've tried to turn it up so you can hear it. It doesn't come out great through the microphones, but I would recommend one of the greatest driving experiences I've had, believe it or not, of all, was with my blue 3.2. I've never owned a V6 before I owned that blue one. It was a bit more tired than this one, and maybe I wasn't quite as respectful with that car as I am with the Papaya. And I'd get that car warmed up and put it in sport mode. And that car in sport mode turns into an animal. The sound, it sounds like you're playing a racing game. It sounds, and the handling is amazing. They are quite nose heavy, the 3.2s. That's the one thing I will say. But the coupe, compared to my 225 Roadster, is like night and day driving experience. Really is. I'm not a big Audi VAG fan, to be fair, for my Benz. You're in the wrong chat then, I think, because I think this is an Audi TT live feed. But you're more than welcome to stay and listen what we've got to say, and you may have some difference of opinion. It's always good to have a chat and see what other people think about these cars. You know, these cars do get a bit of bad press at times. You know, people call them hairdressers' cars. Don't know, that's the big thing, the big joke. I don't know if that's insulting to hairdressers or what it is, but hey Andy, greetings from Greece. I have the 1.8 BAM TT, and lately it smells like coolant in the cabin, and the windshield fogs up and a piece of sponge come out of the vents. Do you know what it is? I don't know what it is. Could be a few different things. If Richard George's on here, he might have some advice on that, because he is probably my go-to guy when it comes to things like that, because he's had quite a few TTs over his time and he might know. But guys, if you know what that problem is that Mike Naxos has there, that's mentioned about the smell of coolant, heat mates, there you go. Stephen Craddock comes to the rescue. Thank you, Stephen. So probably there you go. I think that's probably what it is, because there's a couple of people. Richard's also said Matrix is gone. TT Mark 1 is my dream car. Thanks for making these videos. The dream will come true one day. Ian Love, thank you very much for that great comment. I'm glad you enjoy the content. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. And guys, if you are enjoying the videos, so there's 27 you want at the moment, make sure you give the video a little like. So if you're logged into YouTube right now, give it a little tap on the screen if you've not already liked the video. Let me know that you're enjoying the content. It makes it worthwhile for me, knowing that the stuff I'm doing is making it worthwhile for you guys. So hopefully you are enjoying it. But what is your thoughts on the video? For those of you that have watched the video, what do you think on the content I put out last night? Do you think I'm on the right track? Do you think the cars are increasing in money? Let me know. Alex Photo SLC was in the market for a 3.2 here in the States, but pricing was an issue. Yeah, running to 8 to 10 grand. Yeah, ended up with 1.8T for 4 grand. Yeah, they are, aren't they? They are crazy money. And in fact, in the US, they only made the DSG. They didn't make a stick shift. They didn't make a manual in the US. So the Mark 1 3.2 V6 in the US is only DSG. So that is a bit of a shame. But I love DSG. It works well for me. I'm quite happy. Bit of a faff, all under the dashboard, very doable. That's back to the Matrix, I guess. When are you bringing back TT meets TT? I need to do that, don't I? Yeah, I need to bring that back. I need some people that have got some great cars that want to come and share them with me here at the channel. So if you want to appear in an episode of TT meets TT, and guys, if you've not seen that series, get on my channel and look at my playlist and look up TT meets TT. Howard has been a part of that. Richard has been a part of that. It'd be great to get some more of you guys onto TT meets TT to talk about your great cars, your great experiences. And also, Richard, we want to have a look at your Quattro Sport as well, because it's Quattro Sports are always a joy to look at. So we'll definitely feature yours. Mr. GMT has sent another $3. Thank you very much, buddy. You'll have no money left at this rate, but thank you very much. That's 2 cups of tea I can buy tonight now. So, guys, if you are enjoying what you're watching, and definitely give it, and you want to send me a cup of tea to keep me warm tonight, definitely click the little $sign in the feed below. Send me a little super thanks, a little super chat, so I can buy a cup of tea. It's all much appreciated. I'll pop down soon, Andy. Yeah, show off some parts. Yeah, Christoph, definitely come down. We'll arrange a weekend for you to come down. We'll do a feature on your car, and I'll definitely want to have a look at that single DIN flap idea you've come up with as well, to see how we can see if you fabricated that now and see if that's working. What else we've got? Huskus. I've got a Mark 1 TT. She's currently hibernating in Thorn, as there's quite a bit to need to fix. And I was about to say it before, but now I'm sure. Yeah, Huskus. I think that's the trouble. These cars get very frustrating, and they do cause you to sort of fall out of love with them at the time and make you want to sell them. But the trouble is, if you do sell, you will regret it. I think a lot of people step away from the TT scene only to come back again. And I think like Richard's a great example of that. He has dipped his toe in and out 3 times, I think, since I've been on the TT scene. And he's on his 3rd one that I've seen him in recently. So people do come and go. Stephen, thank you for sending me a cup of tea, mate. You are another legend as well. You're also a member, so I really appreciate you being a member and supporting me. Can you recommend any aftermarket tail lights, Mr. GMT? Do you know, I don't know what the brand is, but I have got it in a video. So if you're after something a bit different rather than standard lights, there are a set of tail lights in a video of mine. You'd have to go to my playlist called TT Meets TT. I think it's the second, or it's either episode 2 or episode 3. And it's a denim blue coupe, and it's got some really alternative LED rear lights. They look pretty cool, actually, I have to say. They are very different looking. I think in the video description, it's got what type they are. And you might be able to find, if they're still available, you might be able to find that. But that's the only thing I can think of. Matt's Motorsport, you'd be up for that. 2004, 3.2. Denim, I reckon that Ming Blue. Is that denim blue? Or is that Ming Blue? I've not heard of Ming Blue. I've heard of Mauritius Blue. Standard OEM. Be great to see that, buddy. 4 times. Oh, sorry, 4 times you've dipped your toe in that. Yeah. You can feature them early if you want. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Are they spiders? Where am I looking? Where are the spiders? Are they the spiders? Oh, the lights. Okay, I thought you were sort of looking. I was looking all around there. I thought I could see some spiders coming down, but no, that's all good. Yeah, guys, if you do want to feature the car, it's a dark blue. Yeah, if it's really dark blue, it's normally a Mauritius blue, which has got like quite a little bit of a like a fleck in it, like a metallic fleck. So my original 3.2 was Mauritius. It's a very popular colour in the 3.2. Lovely colour. I think they made denim blue till about 2001, 2002, and then they switched to denim blue for Mauritius. But all the 3.2s are Mauritius. They are not. There's no denim blue 3.2s. Just so you know, they'd already stopped that and changed over before they switched over. Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, it's dark blue. So I think that's probably what you got. But yeah, if you want to do a feature with your car here at the channel, please get in touch with me. Drop me an email as well. So I'm Andy_Charger@hotmail.com. you can get in touch with me, and we can do some. Yeah, oh, it's Morrow blue, of course, right? Yeah, so that's the very, very dark blue, almost like trying to find a colour that would match that. It's almost like, although that is blue at the top there, it's almost like that colour blue. This blue is more like Mauritius, and that blue at the top there's more like Morrow. It's really dark blue, isn't it? I know the colour you mean now. Sorry, that was my bad. Ming blue was my B5A4 2.8. Oh, nice. I bet that used to shift. The B5, interestingly, I don't know if you've seen that, but the power plant out of that featured in what I class as the first TTRS, which was a project that Audi put together, and they took the running gear from a B5, a bi-turbo running gear out of a 2.8, and they shoehorned it into a TT. They had to adjust it quite a bit. So the body that sits in, there's another video on my channel, and I keep plugging videos tonight, but if you go and look on my channel, there is a video called the first TTRS, I think I called it. Picture, you've got a yellow car on the front of it, and it's all about that car. So Audi decided before the 3.2 was made that they wanted to go and make something a bit more special, and they got the whole running gear out of a B5. They shoehorned it into the body, and in fact, if you look at that car, the tunnel down the middle of the car sits like quite high up on the inside. All the struts are all like in different places. They've had to really butcher it under the bonnet and really have to get it done. But it's a bit of a work of art, and it's done quite a few miles. Great looking car. Definitely want to check out in the video. It's all the details about it. But I do feature it. So I featured it when I've seen it once in person. We are trying to get that car to come to the International TT show so we can all see it and appreciate it. So we are trying to do a few things to get a few more cars there, some special bits from Audi. We're in chats with the dealership in Ypres, the Audi dealership, to try and get some bits there as well. Be great to that show, is, I know I go back to it, but that show expands out year on year, and we go bigger and better every year. This year's going to be a monster because we're going to have a charity auction, like a raffle, where you can win one of 10 trips in one of Thierry's amazing classic cars that he takes people out and does a tour around the town in. Some amazing cars, Lambos, Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, you name it. He's got a whole host of cars, and really, really expensive rare cars Thierry's got, and he's going to do 10 trips out in those. So if you want to win one of those, all the money that goes in for that raffle is going to Cancer Research UK here in the UK. Because we are going to be collecting for charity while we're there as well. Make it a bit more, give back to the community a little bit more as well. So I think having a trip in one of Thierry's car would be amazing. So last year, my mother and father-in-law came to Ypres. My father-in-law won the trip in one of the cars, and I think he scared the bejesus out of my father-in-law, that car that he went in. But that's another story. He didn't want to go in it. He wanted me to go in it, but I was too busy. So is what it is. But yeah, so touching back on this though, I haven't got the boots open. The boot's been open for the last couple of weeks. And really that's quite a bad thing to do. So if you have got a TT like this, don't keep the boot open, because you do put struts under a lot of load, because they're supporting the weight of that heavy boot for a long time. Either that'll prop the boot open. So the reason it's open is because the battery is struggling on it. So I have to get the battery on and get it charged up. So Jeff Wood, 3.2 Roadster manual, low mile, 63, nice. RS2 alloys, lovely motor on eBay now for sale. Okay, I thought that you were saying that was your car for sale. How much is that car up for sale on eBay right now on 63,000 miles? I wonder. Depends on what the colour is. 63,000 miles. I would say that's going to go on eBay. Although if it's on eBay, it's probably on an auction, isn't it, rather than a buy it now. But I reckon a buy it now, you probably won't get anything less than $5.5 grand for that right now. I bet that's where it's sitting. Be interested to have a look. Let me know in the chat, Jeff, if where that car is sitting right now. Depending on the colour, because if it was a papaya Roadster, then it would be probably a lot higher again. If it was a white Roadster, again, a lot of money. Merlin purple Roadster, Andy, maybe, if it was that, that'd be worth a lot of money. There's rare colour cars, low mileage cars. They definitely ask a premium when you're selling it. Obsessive Dash, hello. Who is that? I'm not sure you are, Obsessive Dash, but welcome along for the feed. We're chatting all about things Audi TT tonight. Here we have my 3.2 V6. So we've talked all about the jump starters already tonight, because that will probably help some people out. It's 7K. Yeah, there you go. So I was well underselling that. So that's the thing, isn't it? Now, if you think about this, so I bought this on 64,000 miles and I paid 5,250 for it. So if a Roadster is up for sale on the same miles, and we don't know what colour it is, or I feel you might know what colour that is, but if you think, even if that was a standard colour at 7 grand, you know, the prices have gone mad. They really have. And I think, Phil, it might have been your comment actually. It was either yourself or David Pring. I think it was you that made the comment though, where you said that once these cars tip over the edge and start going up, they don't come back down. That's it. Once they go over once they start appreciating in value, they don't come down. So is now the time to buy one if you don't already own one? Yes, I think it is. It's silver. Yeah, so I mean, I love a silver TT because I own one, So if it's silver and it's 7 grand, I mean, that's mad. Yeah, I thought it was you, Phil. See, that's me. I just showing I pay attention to these things when people make a comment. It's not me just going blah and replying. I actually take every single comment that people put in. I read it and then I think about normally a witty reply or something, rather than just going, yeah, thanks for your comment. I like to actually think about what I'm saying back. So hopefully that comes across in my replies to you guys, because it's all about chat and community. It's 7K buy now, 4K recently spent once for nothing. Okay, they all want for something in the end. Trust me. That's the thing is, I wonder what it's had 4 grand spent on it. I reckon it's had chains done at 4 grand. Then maybe it's had the underneath done. That would be another thing. So that's something I want to do on this car is the underneath, because it's a little bit not crusty, but it's a little bit I suppose a little bit flaky here and there. So I do want to make it absolutely tip top. I want to strip it all down. Phil, I think you've done that with yours. You've done a nut and bolt restoration, haven't you, recently? But I want to do something similar to this. And I think you've got a spare set of bolts. I think you said that you've got a set of seals in the loft, I think you said as well, I remember rightly. But yeah, I think I want to do all those jobs for mine. I want to keep it absolutely tip top, because with the breakdown that I had in it in December, where we were at the Ace Cafe in London and the alternator gave out on me, those things do start making you fall out of love with the car, and it lets you down. But you've also got to remember the good times you have in these cars as well, going to these shows and having fun and meeting people, so it's actually done me a favor with that alternator going offline like it has. It means I haven't driven this car in anger since early December. That's a good thing, because it's been off the road now for 2 months in the cold weather, away from the dirt, the grime on the roads. I'm not putting miles on it. It's keeping the mileage low. The paintwork sits and looks lovely in the garage. It's not getting rained on and rusty. Sitting here in a lovely time. All it's doing is obviously it's discharging its battery. Hello, Ben of the North. How are you doing, mate? Andy Mortimer said you should get on this one time. Correct account this time. You had, oh right, I see. That was you with the hello. Was it right now? That makes sense. That silver one had the clutch done, so half the bill is labour. Yeah, that is the trouble, isn't it? That is the trouble with these cars. Hope you're doing well, Ben. I've been watching your journey of your LCD screen, with interest. I'd love to do a feature on that once that's all finished. So for those of you that don't know, Ben is doing a great build of his cluster, so it becomes like a glass cockpit cluster rather than just the little screen. Looks amazing what you're doing. I think you're actually hand coding all that as well, which I think is just amazing. I can't wait to see that done, buddy. It'd be amazing. What miles do you think the 1.8Ts are capable of? George Skinner. Are we talking about long distance mileage, like in how many miles you can get in a car? What's the highest mileage? There is a car that's done 300,000 miles, I know. So that's probably the highest one I've seen. Yeah. When you eventually finish it, definitely, Ben, let's get together and do that. Maybe we'll try and so I think 300,000 miles is the highest 1.8 I've seen. Ben, when I come up to Sheffield for Masters in June, maybe we can get together then and film something then. Because I am playing in. We've got to come back to Masters as the The Romford Renegades are defending Masters champions. We won the plate last year, so we're coming back to defend our title in the over 35. So we'll be back for that. So if you can arrange to be available that weekend, definitely do some filming. Obviously, I won't be in the TT. I'll be in the Tesla, but you'll have to let me off that. We can definitely get together. Yeah, that sounds good. Nice one. So yeah. So guys, what is the highest mile Audi TT that you're aware of? What have you seen? What does your TT currently sit at? Have you got a low mileage garage queen, or have you got a high mileage workhorse? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you've got more than one car as well. So let me know in the comments what you are currently driving TT wise, because it'd be interesting to know what people are driving and where in the world you are driving it as well, because it's always good to hear from people around the world that are driving these cars and where they are. The guy that was on earlier in Utah, I don't know if you're still there. I'd be interested to know what your weather's like at the moment, because I'd imagine that you are all being battered by the weather over there and probably not able to get out in your TTs. I was watching the football last night in the Denver and New England game in Denver, believe it or not, and the weather looked horrendous. It didn't look as bad as it did in New England. It looked even worse there, but yeah, the weather was pretty horrendous. So hopefully you're all staying safe out there in the US at the moment also. But I might move all this off the bonnet. Anyway, we've talked about these jump starters. And again, if you want a cheap one, basic one, that topped on one does the job. But if you want to go with the whole hog and get an absolute beastly one, this 24 volt one is an absolute beast. I highly recommend picking yourself up one. Cheap ones, you get them on eBay, you get them on Amazon, you get them on TikTok Shop, but get hold of one, because it will save you at some point if you drive an old TT. Trust me. Dan, 21k Mark III. Don't think that's helpful. No, Dan, you've got a nice new Mark III. I think it's I don't know if Gina's on at the moment. Gina, you were on earlier, but I think it's is it Ava Blue or Ara Blue? You've got that blue. Pretty sure it is. Right, what we got then? So Andy Mortimer's got his BAM Roadster Merlin Purple. I know which one you've got on 60,000. George Skinner, a 180 ARY on 128, but still running well. That's good. The thing in with the 1.8T models, right? If you service them regularly and if you keep the maintenance up, they'll go on forever. I think what tends to happen, I'm just going to put that down there. What tends to happen with these cars is once the mileage starts getting up, people care less and less. So as the mileage gets up, they think, do you know what? I'll leave it a few more miles. And of course, by doing that, the engine's already at more risk than it would have been if you were driving it carefully, let's say on low mileage. And because of that, you're taking more risks, you're putting the engine under more wear, and eventually it gives out. But if you keep servicing it, keep it looked after, it'll be fine. Good example of that being, we bought a Mark 7 Fiesta or Mark 7.5 Fiesta for my son in early December because his Peugeot died, and we paid £1,500 for it, and it's a 16 plate, but it's done 175,000 miles, but it's got full dealer service history. It's only ever been serviced at the dealership. It runs sweet as a nut. It's immaculate. It's a beautiful car, but it's got 175,000 miles on it. But depending where you've done those mileage makes a big difference, don't forget, to how far that car will go. The TT we spoke about earlier, it's got 300,000 miles on it. I guarantee that's done all that miles long distance. It's not doing short runs to the station and short runs on the school run and nipping to Sainsbury's. It's going to be doing all long distance mileage, because once you're just in the zone, cruising along, the car will be absolutely fine. So I think that's a great one. QS on 72, absolutely second car. Yeah. Richard, I reckon, I don't know how much you paid for your car. I'm not going to ask you how much you paid, but it's definitely 5 figures. And I think that's definitely a keeper. Keep the miles down it though, and keep it in the garage and keep it as a sales artifact for the future. Right, I'm just going to move that off there. This is the Auxito battery charger. Again, this is on the big light. Highly recommend one of these, because if you want to work in the garage. Although I say that, this one I'm going to open up. So there's the, didn't have a look at it inside there. So there it is. It's a bit smaller, a bit more clunky and chunky. But I think it's actually out of battery, this one, if I turn it on. It's got any battery in? No, it hasn't. So we need it has got, it's got full battery. So let's turn that on. We'll hold the button. There you go. So there's the, got 2 lights on next to it. So what we'll do, we'll have a little look at how good that one is, right? So if I turn off this light like that, and then I turn off this light like this, there we go. So that shows you how bright that is. So that's pretty good. It's like an LED panel. So we'll have a look under the bonnet. We'll shut the lights off down here. There we go. We've also got the ring light on as well. So I'll turn the ring light off and we'll just have a look at how good that is. So there you go. So if we've got the lights on behind, but it's a pretty good light, that one. So if you were at the side of the road, need to attract some attention, or you need to see what you're doing, this is quite a good light actually. So I definitely recommend these. Now Auxito, as you probably remember if you've seen the video, they also make headlight bulbs, which although they claim work for the Audi TT Mark 1, they do not work on the Audi TT Mark 1. So do not be fooled into buying Auxito headlight bulbs, because they don't work. Because they are claiming they're LED replacements for our xenon headlights, and they don't work. So don't buy those. Again, I'm always honest, and I'll always tell you when things are good and when things are bad. And those Auxito headlight bulbs are bad. Don't buy those. So let's turn that on. And hopefully, what I'll do, I'm going to pop the bonnet open and we'll have a look underneath so people can have a look. If they haven't got a 3.2, let's have a look what's under the bonnet on these 3.2s. And I am thinking in this car, when I bought the old 3.2, the blue one, I bought a set of Ronal wheels for it because it didn't have Ronals on originally. So I bought a set of Ronal wheels for it, and I put a new set of tyres on those, and I bought some cheapish tyres. They're Bridgestones. They're Turanzas. They're not a bad tyre, but they're not a great tyre. So I thought to myself, what tyre should I change the colour of that? I need to turn that into the hotter mode. I'm going to put Pilot Sport 4s on these wheels, because I've noticed that on these, I've got a slow puncher in the back. One of the other ones has got a bit of a punch, and I think, well, you know, I don't want to keep worrying about that. I'll get some new tyres. So I'm going to put Pilot Sport 4s on. So what are your thoughts, guys, on tyres for the Audi TT Mark 1? What is your go-to tyre? The Turanzas have been okay. Grip has been okay, but yeah, I've adored the Pilot Sport 5s on mine. Royal Difference Forms, my old Bridgestone. Yeah, I get from the Bridgestones. Yeah, I think the Bridgestones aren't great. He says opening the bonnet. There we go. Hopefully we can see that. I'm going to bring you in a little bit, guys, so we can have a little look. Let's have a little look under here and see what we've got. So this is, for those of you that have not seen under here before, this is the Audi TT Mark 1 3.2 V6, and this is, well, obviously a 6-cylinder, normally aspirated engine. There's the, out of the factory, I think it did 247 brake horsepower this generated out of the factory, sometimes quite a 250. If you want to get any more performance out of this engine at all, you need to supercharge it or turbocharge this car, because people put an airbox on it. They put like a big Forge airbox on right here, which looks absolutely ridiculous, and it gives you no more performance. It does nothing for the car. It might look nice, but it's not making any difference because it's a normally aspirated engine. All you're doing is letting the air get in easier. It's not forcing, it's not doing anything. That's not your restriction. But what you can do is you can turbocharge them or supercharge them, and that's probably between a 5 and 10 grand upgrade for these cars. And for the extra performance you get out of doing that for the car, it's probably not worth it. But what you can do, if you're looking for more performance out of a TT, you're better off to stick to the 1.8T model, and you can do a lot of cheap upgrades to that to get a lot more power. Let's have a quick look. What, I've just missed some comments. Right, I've got Uni Royal Rain Sport 5, nice. I've just bought a yellow VAG car. Shame it's got Ford Capri badges on it. Nasty. What have you cleaned the metal behind the oil filler cap with? The metal behind the oil filler cap. This one here. So this is this has your diaphragm behind it. This little gadget here. So we're going to talk about that in a second, actually. So this you're talking about here. So it's not particularly clean, this one. It might look shiny on the video coming through, but it's not. It's quite corroded, and it's quite just dull. Now on the 3.2 Mauritius car I had, what I did, I got some chrome polish. It's sort of like, it's a black and almost like bronzy color tube with a red cap, and I just put some on it, and I got a drill with like a DA polish type thing, and I DA polished it, and I made it like a mirror finish, and it looked great. It really did, but that's not what it looks like when it's new. It doesn't have that finish when it's new, so it is a little bit, you know, you are messing with it a little bit. But what sits under here is there's like a little very thin perforator, or a thin diaphragm that sits under here for your oil breather. And what it does in the TT, it sits under here, and then it passes it off down to this little gadget on the top here through this black pipe. And there's a little small hole in the back of this little diaphragm cover, this little metal cover here. And what happens, little tiny pinhole. And when the diaphragm fails and gets perforated, you know that's failed, because the little hole at the back here makes a high-pitched whistle, okay? And they don't make the parts for this anymore. Or if you can get hold of the parts, it's about an £800 fix for the car. But of course, all you're getting is a high-pitched whistle, and it's not doing any favours. But what you can get, which they don't talk about, and there's a guy on the Audi TT forum called Swiss Jet Pilot, Andrew, and he told me about this fix. And also Kyle Stocks told me about this fix as well. That what you can do, this part here, this little triangular three-pointed star here in this black tube, is the same part as on the 3.6 V6 Porsche Cayenne cars, okay? But what they've done, cleverly, is they've taken the diaphragm out of here, and they've moved it to this part here. It's like a round disc on that car. So what you can do, for a £40 part, you can replace this entire pipe. You put a little self-tapping screw in this hole to make it stop the high-pitched whistle, and you move the diaphragm from here to this component here, and that solves your problem. And that's probably one of the good hacks for this car, for fixing it, to getting away from that issue. The £800 fix becomes a £40 fix. Highly recommend that. That's something to talk about. I don't know if people are aware of that fix. I'm just going to have a quick scroll through the comments. Yeah, chrome polish and drill, thanks. Yeah, I have a new old stock valve cover in the shed. Powder coat it and swap it out when my chains eventually get done. Maybe same covers the car. Nice. Pretty P0s. 520 for 4 PS4 on black circles, 450 for PS5. Same site prices for fitted. Good deal. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, I think I paid about £100 a piece for those Bridgestone Turanzas anyway. So I think if £450 for a set of Pilot Sports is great money, I think that's a really great idea. I might have to look into that myself. See if we can get some ideas for the car moving forward. One thing I've noticed on this car now, I've just spotted, I don't know if you can see that, I've spotted a little bit of rust here and here under my bonnet. That's not good, is it? That's not good. I'll have to get that looked at. I've got a spare bonnet actually, so what I might do, I've got a black bonnet. I might actually get it painted the same colour as the car, and just swap the bonnet out. Easier, isn't it, than rubbing bonnets down and fighting the rust? That'd be an easier way of doing it. Because I've noticed on the underside as well is they must just give it a very thin skimmer coat here of paint, because it's really matte and it's not great. It never shines up very well. So I think I'd probably get that other bonnet. I'll get that other bonnet painted, I think. The only thing is getting the stickers. So you can't normally get hold of these stickers. Some people reprint them, so I might have to look at that. The car is currently, you might notice it's quite high up as well at the moment. It's because it's on axle stands, so it's got no front wheels on it. Because I am waiting to take the bonnet off, take the bumper off. So for those of you that don't know, there's a video on my channel, I should say. As I always say, there's a video on my channel. The reason it's on the axle stands is we are going to take the alternator off this car. Now, if it was a 1.8T, we could beat Stephen Harper. How you doing, buddy? If it was a 1.8T, we'll be taking it off through the top here. Because it's not, we're taking it off from the front. So we've got to bring the whole front off to get to that. Happy birthday, Stephen, for last week. Stephen hit the big 4-0 last week. Well done, Stephen. So welcome to the club. Hope you had a good birthday. I see you got spoilt rotten from the pictures. I have Pirate Sport 5s. They're awesome. Mr. GMT, thank you for that. I know that you are a lone soldier down there in Australia with your car. What have you been up to then, Stephen? What's going on with the TT at the moment? Stephen Harper, VW, as you can see in the chat, guys. If you don't follow him, he's also another Audi TT Mark 1 YouTuber. Go and check out his channel. Give him a follow. Look at some of his videos. He's got lots of fixes that I don't cover. So between us, we've got most things covered, I think, Stephen, haven't we? So definitely check out Stephen's channel. Always good to give him a little follow and a thumbs up so he can get his subscribers up as well. So please give him a follow. But yeah, so the car is needing a bit of TLC. There's a stick there. I am going to do a little video as well. I don't know if you know, but if you are doing on these cars, if you want to know a lot of the details about it, like the colour scheme and various other bits, there is a sticker in the boot, in the wheel well in the boot, that has all the information about the car. Now, over time, that sticker wears off or the ink fades, but it has your paint code. It has a lot of things about the car that it can tell you all about in the car. And I'm going to do a little video on what that sticker contains so people know I can describe it, and it might help you pass the NCT. Nice one. First go. Did you pay someone, or did it pass it legitimately? Hope it passed it legitimately and you weren't fiddling the system. Sure it wasn't. But yeah, the car, I was talking about the alternator job with me. I'm going to take this bumper off to do it. It's got to come off. Now, to take the bumper off, you need to take the wheels off. You need to take the wheel arch liners out of the wheel arches, or you can just turn the bottom corners back of the wheel arch liners if you want to bend them around, but I tend to take them out. It's easier in the long run. And then there are two 10mm bolts in each end of each wheel arch at the front that do on 2 bolts that allow you to remove it. There's also a little grub screw that goes down with I think it's a T20 Torx bit on the passenger side that screws the 2 bits together. Once you've got it off, obviously remove all the bolts from the under tray at the front as well. There's a couple of, take all the plastic trim off the top. I tend to leave this bit till last. And the reason for that is what you don't want to be doing is loosen all the top off, then start working at the bottom, and then it all coming crashing off. So if you leave this bit on till last, it will keep your bumper on until you're ready to remove it. Remove the bits out of the wheel arches first and the under tray, then work on the top. Pull off the plastic cover. There's like a metal strip that goes the whole way across. You remove all the bolts, the 6 bolts out of that, lift that off, and then you should be able to gently maneuver the bumper forward. Obviously, what you've got to remember is on these cars, in the passenger wheel well, is the fluid washer bottle for the windscreen wipers and also for the headlight washers as well. Now, there's a tube that comes all the way along on the passenger side across the whole of the front of the bumper from the passenger side. So when you pull the bumper off, you haven't got a lot of maneuverability. So I'd definitely say put a towel or a blanket down on the floor so you can just literally lift it off and put it right down, because you're not going to have a lot of play. There's a connector in the passenger wheel well just at the front, like a T-piece. You can clip the thing back and it all comes away. But just so you're aware of that. Unfortunately, the TT, if you want to ever change your headlights, you've also got to do the same process. You've got to have the bumper off to remove the headlights, believe it or not. Who came up with that great idea? I don't know. But to do a lot of the jobs on this car, you do need to remove the bumper. It's one of those jobs, once you've done it a couple of times, you get your head around it, you can just whip it off in half an hour. It's just very labour intensive because you've got to take the wheels off, the wheel arch liners, all the various nuts and bolts. And when you do it, get a nice big piece of cardboard, punch a lot of holes in it and put all your bolts in the right order. So you've got them on a piece of cardboard. That way you never lose anything. You're not scrabbling around the end trying to work out where all the bolts go. You've got them laid out. And lay them out in the style of where you've taken them out from. Draw a little picture on it if you want. Pop them through the cardboard. You've got them nice and safe and secure for when you need it. Little tip for you, as I always do on any strip downs like that. Also on the 3.2s, you probably notice, if you've got a 1.8T car, right here is the battery. On the 3.2, the battery's not there, but they leave the cover It's a nice big hole under there. The battery's actually in the boot on the 3.2. You know what I mean? Don't spread them all over the dash like my bumper bolts currently are. No, definitely don't do that, Ben. Definitely put them somewhere safe so people can find them when they're putting it back together. That's my tip of the day. Don't do you know what? When I stripped the black car down, so the Project TT that I had in the garage, one of the reasons that I decided to basically break it in the end for parts was as I was doing the strip down, it got so overly complex with parts I was taking off, nuts and bolts I was taking off. I wasn't documenting where everything went because it was all coming off quite rip-rap. My nephew was doing it with me as well, and he wasn't very precise where he was putting things. He was undoing things and just letting them go. I couldn't keep up. And now I've got jars and jars of nuts and bolts from that strip down. I don't know where they went, those parts, so I'm sure they'll become in handy one day. But yeah, it is what it is. But I've still got loads of parts in here to get in the for the future, let's say, because don't forget, the cars are becoming a lot more rare. They are being broken for parts, and I would recommend picking up a lot of the spares if you're looking at keeping your car so you can keep it on the road. I've got that lovely 3.2 front subframe hanging up that's been restored and painted to go on. I've still got the 3.2 rear subframe down here because I need, and this is a question for those of you that own one, on the rear subframe on a 3.2, there is a hanger that connects to the diff hanger. Do you know if the diff hanger is the same on the 1.8T as it is on the 3.2 V6 rear subframe? Little question for you, because I don't have the hanger for, oh, show us reversing camera. That's what we were going to do. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, Stephen. We'll talk about that first. So those of you that have know about my car, I claim it's very OEM because I like things to be standard. I'm just going to lift that up. I don't like things to be different, modified, even though this car's got a load of modified bits on it. Not stuff I've modified, so technically I haven't modified the car. That's my theory, and I'm going to stick to it. So what I'm going to do for this bit, I need to take you to the rear of the car. I'm just going to undo, I haven't got a lot of cables, so I'm going to take the plug out and we're going to go to the rear of the car and we're going to have a little look at what's going on. Look how shiny this car is. I mean, it's literally, all I've done is chuck a cloth over this. It's not been polished or anything. Right, so we're at the back of the car now. So, right, I'm going to plug you back in so we get some light on the scene as well, so you can see what we're doing. Bear with me a moment, folks, while I get you plugged in and get you set up so you can look what I'm doing rather than just looking at the rear of the car. Right, hopefully this will bring it back to life. Live TV, eh? Live TV. Right, there we go. Right, okay, so down here, Steve, right here is the reversing camera, and you can see it's got a little bracket on it, 2 holes, and this little dodgy camera. Now, if you look where mine goes, it goes under the rubber trim. So it goes under the rubber trim and comes through this plastic panel here and out the back, and then it runs round the trim in the car. Can you see that down there? There you go. So there's the camera, and where that was mounted, I don't know if you can probably see. I'll just see if I can lift you over there. Hopefully you can see, but there's a little hole there and a little hole there that the guy had drilled 2 holes into the bumper, which really annoyed me because I don't want a reversing camera on the car anyway. And he's basically put holes in the bumper so he could mount that camera. So that would normally sit on there because, funny enough, I can see out of my eyeballs and I can see out my back window, so I don't need to worry about when I'm going backwards. And yeah, so that annoyed me a little bit because that means I've got 2 holes in my rear bumper. But it is what it is. I've also got a rear dash cam as well that points backward, that links to the Pioneer stereo I've got. Is it Pioneer or Kenwood? I think it's a Kenwood, actually. I say Pioneer, it's a Kenwood head unit, I think. And that's also got a front camera, which is someone was asking about front cameras. Next base is the front camera. So there's the front camera. And if you guys can see that, the next base front camera. It's actually a really good one. It's a really decent little camera actually, and that's linked to the Kenwood head unit. So useful if you are worrying about people knocking into your car and stuff. And also, I'm going to also talk about insurance. I don't know if I'm going to cover that tonight, but I'm going to do a video on that. Now, I shouldn't really, being in the insurance trade myself as with my job, although I'm in IT insurance, not in actual insurance, but I've done my insurance exams. I probably will talk about the pros and cons of agreed value insurance, because it's definitely something to think about. If you are owning a car that maybe has is a higher value car than maybe some of the cheaper cars, maybe you've got a rare color, maybe you've got a low mileage car, some of those really rare cars are going to be the cars that will ask more money in the future. And because of that, you need to make sure that when you're insuring your car, you're not just taking a policy. Because what will happen is if you have an accident in that and you've got it fully comp, the assessor will come out and say, look at the book price, your car's worth £1,500. There's £1,500. And you'll turn around and say, hang on a minute, this is an Audi TT Mark 1 of 42 ever made in this colour. It's really rare. It's worth £10,000. And the assessor will say, it's not my problem because you haven't got an agreed value policy. So what you do is you would say to the insurer, when you come to renew your policy, I would like to have an agreed value insurance policy for my car, because it's not a bog standard car. It is quite a high end version of that model. And I would like you to insure my car for £12,000. And the assessor will say, okay, you'll take all the facts and figures into the equation, and you will pay a little bit more for the premium, no doubt, but you will get an agreed value on your car should you have an accident. So if someone wrote your pride and joy off, you don't end up with £1,500, you end up with the full £10,000 or whatever value you've got your car at. So I would highly recommend, if your car is your pride and joy and you are looking to insure it and it's an older car like these, don't just take it with the cheapest insurance you can find. Also look at the excesses on these cars as well, because if you do have an accident, then the excess can be sometimes quite high. If you've got a very cheap insurance, might be a £500 or £750 excess, because that's there to discourage you from making a claim, essentially, because you can do it cheaper elsewhere, and you also impact on how much money they'll pay you out. So think about that. Also, yes, I also did think that when we were talking about taking the number plate bulb out, you wouldn't pass the MOT on that, would you? So that is definitely something to consider, Stephen. The old NCT might be all right, but the MOT won't like that. But yeah, it is what it is. So guys, if you've got anything you want to talk about in the chat tonight, let me know. So I'm always happy to talk about all things TT, and if you've got any particular subjects you want to talk about. Obviously, we've talked about going to the International TT show. We've talked about the 3.2 prices as well. We've talked about it in depth. Hopefully you've watched the video now. And again, what do you think about that video? Let me know in the comments. We've probably got different people on now, so let me know what you think on my feedback on the video. It'd be interesting to hear. Is there a way to get insurance cheaper, i.e. call first thing in the morning? No, I think time's moved on a little bit from that. Nowadays, it's definitely worth shopping around for the best deal. Again, there are some better insurers than others for agreed value. There are some specialists in the market. Definitely worth checking out the specialists, particularly for your car, Stephen, as well with your Escort as well. I'd definitely ring around and not just take the cheapest option. Definitely have a look at what you can get. But yeah, there used to be ways to get it cheaper. You're paying 150 a year for 3.2, and that's great, Alex. But again, your car is probably one of the ones that's worth a bit more money as well. So I would actually see if your policy is an agreed value policy, because if you have an accident in that car and they look at the book price, they will pay you book price. But it's definitely a fact to consider. And getting insurance at the start of if people are trying to make targets, they might do a bit of discount. But to be fair, they're going to have the same amount of leeway on commission and discounts at the start of the month as they have at the end of the month. So for people I know that work in the industry, They have a threshold, like a commission threshold that they can discount the policy by, and they can do things. If you go to a broker, they can move things around. If you go to something like Compare the Market or Go Compare, they're not going to have any leeway because they are the rock bottom prices there. Those what we call as aggregator sites. They are competing against each other for cheap and cheap and cheap. But what they are not going to be is agreed value. You need to go to a specialist broker for that. But Adrian Flux does one, I think. There's a few ones that do specialist insurance as well on that sort of thing. So definitely worth shopping around. 3 years no claims, £1,000 for me. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be paying your insurance. Again, I'm lucky. My insurance is down in the, I think it's about a couple £100 for each of my cars. There are reverse cameras that double as license plate lights, no holes needed. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Is that past one the MOT doing that? Be interesting if it is. I've always found they're more expensive. Yeah, they're more expensive because the cover's better. I think that's the trouble. I think the cup, you are getting what you pay for. If you're worried about what will happen to your car, if you're insuring your car, let's say for liability cover, so if you have an accident, you're covering the other car, great. If you're not worried about what you're going to get out of the car if it gets damaged, then great. But if you have got a pride and joy expensive car that you need to make sure that you are covering, if you have an accident, that you'll get the money back and it's agreed value because you want to get 10 grand out of it, I'd highly recommend having a look at it if you've got like a nicer end car. Again, I shouldn't really do. It's not insurance advice. It's more. It's just what I found when I do it. Oh, you found Go Compare more expensive, right? Okay, yeah. There's Admiral pretty cheap. If you want a cheap policy, they're pretty good for young drivers. They do a good young driver policy. There's a few different ones about, but your high street brokers tend to be not particularly cheap. It's the aggregate market, so like household insurance, motor insurance, bike insurance. It's all very high churn business. It's there's no reward for loyalty. So if you have one of those type of policies, definitely worth moving around every year as well and getting the best price. Just so you know that, because they normally have deals on new business, getting you in the door rather than retention rates. Some have retention rate policies, but some are. It's all about getting you on the books and new business. But yeah, have a look at that. I'm looking to upgrade my stock cassette radio to a newer Concert 2, which requires CAN bus to work properly. Does anyone know if it's still possible to get a CAN bus emulator simulator? I think that probably is. A few people that have done some of those sort of like tweaks and fixes. You might be able to get a kit that does it. I don't know what the kit would be. Again, I've just done a Ford Fiesta Mark 7 and a Peugeot 207 as well. We've done replacing the standard stereos in those with adding CAN bus to them, and also replacing all the standard controls. Really good job. A company called iDoing did it for. Well, so they did it. They supplied with the parts, and I've got one of theirs up there at the moment. There's a couple of videos on my channel right now actually about those upgrades I did. So although you're looking to go to a Concert 2, is there a reason you want to go to a Concert 2? Because there are other options in the market you could go to instead, rather than going to something like that, which you can plug and play as well. Connect 2 does the CAN bus kit. Yeah, there you go. Hi Andy, how are you? I'm good, Jack. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're. It's getting a bit late. You should be in bed, I'm sure, by now. But yeah, all good. I hope you're well, buddy. 150 on a VR6. I'm paying 700 third party and 1 point. Yeah. Insurance is very different in Ireland. I think that's the thing. I'm not going to say what you said because that's naughty, Stephen. You can't be swearing on my channel. Hello, Ian. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're all good. How's everyone doing tonight? If you're enjoying what you're watching, guys, then please do give it a little tap on the screen. Give that feed a little like, so I know you're enjoying what you're watching. We've covered a lot of things off tonight. We've covered insurance. We've covered jump packs. We've covered 3.2, appreciating in value. We've covered the shows that we're going to this year. Is anyone going to a show this weekend? I think there's a meet at the Motorist this weekend, isn't there? I think I did see. I think something popped up in my feed, and there's a show at the Motorist. Great venue, guys. Absolutely great venue. So if you're a bit further up the country, definitely check out the I don't know who's organised. I don't know if Jules has organised that, or maybe Jules has organised that one. But definitely get along because it's always a great event at the Motorist. Great evening. What's the tax like on the 3.2 versus the 225? Ballpark figures. Depending on what date it's manufactured or registered, sorry. The 3.2 and the 225, I think, are on par. The difference is in the 2006 Audi TT Mark 1 3.2, for the very last month of production or the last 3 weeks of production or registration, the car almost like doubles in price for tax reasons. It jumps up to about £700. So I think it's like the 26th of March to like the 12th of April or something, it doubles. But everything before that is the same sort of price as the 225. And the insurance company sent me the renewal letter on my birthday. How rude. And there wasn't even a birthday card. So Robin, yeah, exactly. Podium was good, lots of cars, but given it's an addict state, it's very Mark II and Mark III, but a damn good bunch. Yeah, absolutely. I think that I'm part of the admin team actually on the Addicts group, and we've got a real mix of people in the group actually of owners, because we've got a couple of Mark II owners, got a couple of Mark I owners, we've got a couple of Mark III owners, so we're pretty evenly spread in that group. Obviously, Steve March has taken a back seat from it, but he's now a Mark I owner who was a Mark II. Nick Clark's a Mark I owner. Obviously, I'm a Mark I. You've got Gina and Rappy with their Mark IIIs. And Alan, obviously Alan Whiting has got his Mark II as well. So we're quite evenly split, but I think the attendees, depending on what show you go to, are definitely more one than the other. Not a bad thing, not a good thing. It's just different. It's always good to see the different models TT. I imagine that the majority of people that come to Springfest will be in Mark I's. And what I might try and do this year is I might try and do a Mark I only day as well, like an extra day. So maybe we could do a Mark I only day, but we'll also do a general Audi TT Springfest day as well. Maybe that's what we'll do, rather than add 2 different days. We'll have just a pure Mark I day, so we can get all the old girls together. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Let's do that. I think we'll do that. In fact, maybe we'll do 3 shows this year. I don't mind. I'll do them as many times as people want to come and visit my garden. I'm happy to do it and share the garden with you guys and and talk things TT. Yeah. So what else have we got? I just got inside my TTS and I swipe up and this video appears. This video appears. McDonald, was that? I just got inside my TTS and I swipe up and this video appears. Well, that's a good thing. Obviously, you are very keen on the content for the Audi TT, which is good. It means that your algorithm is finding you the right content to watch for your car, which is good. Ducks are all good, Stephen. Actually, yeah, they although they do make a lot of noise at night at the moment. I think they're being bothered by the fox most nights, so they are making a lot of noise at night. They were making a lot of noise last night, I noticed. So hopefully they're all good though. There's 11 of them at the moment, so they're no more and no less. So they are I had to go and get a load of duck food today actually for them at lunchtime, because they do rattle through the food at the moment. Hi Andy, good to see you. RZM Valkyrie, how you doing? Hope you're all good. What are you up to at the moment? Thanks for jumping on the feed. If you're enjoying what you're watching tonight, guys, of me talking all about the Audi TT, then definitely give it a little double click on the screen and tell me what you want to talk about tonight, what we've not covered, and all things Audi TT. We're here to talk about any parts you want to talk about, any problems you've got with your car. Let me know. Just got home from driving my Audi TT Mark 1. Well, that's the best way to be in it. Well, the only thing better than getting back from driving it is actually when you're out driving, isn't it? So that's the best place to be. Although, of course, this is currently off the road because it's waiting for me to fix the alternator, which hopefully I might get done this weekend. I might try and get the alternator or get the bumper off it tomorrow night, get it stripped down, and then order the parts up I need. I'm also going to bench test the alternator to show you what it's doing and what it's not doing. I think it might be the brushes have gone on it, so I'm going to replace the brushes, or it might be the charge pack on it as well. So one of those 2 things, we're going to get that swapped out. Anything to do with PCVs, mine needs doing soon. Okay, so this obviously doesn't really apply to this car, but the engine I've got behind here, we could have a look at that actually. So let's move let's just move this back, move the camera back. because what we've got right sitting here, down here, other than a mess, right here is a 1.8T BAM engine without the top on it. There we go. All the PCV systems obviously gone. There's a couple of pipes that are still left on it. Probably worth talking. Some of the issues that you tend to get on these is the PCV system does tend to fail. And obviously that's positive crankcase ventilation. The pipes are all getting soft and they're cracking and they're collapsing under boost. And because they're breaking down and deteriorating, they're pumping all of that rubbish and bad parts of pipe and rubber back into your engine, being burnt off. It's not good for the engine. So you can do a couple of things. You can replace the PCV system with a new PCV system, go silicon and replace the whole lot. The only downside about doing that is that if you start disturbing other pipes, you could cause more damage than you've done good, because a lot of these pipes are in situ, not being moved for a long time. As soon as you move them, they crack and they cause problems, start leaking. But you've also got the turbo intake pipe that normally comes down here and goes into your turbo. That also has a habit of going soft. And then when you put your foot down and drive it hard, the tip actually collapses under boost, sucks down, and it starts starving the car of air. You start getting it kangarooing and start misfiring and causing problems. That's if you drive it really hard, you notice that's normally through boost problems where it starts collapsing under pressure. But you know, hopefully that isn't the case. I have started doing a strip down of this engine, and I'm going to do a deep dive video into how you strip down an Audi TT Mach 1 engine. And the reason we're going to strip this engine down is it's had a failure. I've talked about it before, but for those that have not been on before, this is your cam belt, goes on the other end of the engine. This is the one that came off my Roadster, and it looks in pretty good condition if you look at that. There's no damage to that. It's 5 years old. It hasn't done many miles. This one, however, came off this engine when I bought this car because it was a non-runner, because it had a cam belt failure. And if we look at this cam belt and turn it inside out, you can see it's got all these little feet on the cam belt, but you can see there's ones that are missing. So there's teeth missing there on the cam belt. These teeth are missing off the cam belt. Well, that's going to cause it to start slipping and missing and causing a problem. But as we move right round, look at this. Oh dear, look at all those teeth that are missing off that cam belt. All of those. There's about 30 teeth there missing in a row on that cam belt. So that strips all those teeth off. So of course that wouldn't be turning any of your pulleys. It wouldn't be keeping things in time. And because of that, what's happened is the valves have got out of time with the pistons. It's an interference engine. So the valves are going up and down at the right time to not hit the pistons, because that's happened. It's come out of time and the valve stems have gone into the piston heads and they've bent the valve stems, I think. We will find out when we get it apart. So that is a bit of a problem on this engine. But we will do a deep dive into that now. The reason I haven't taken the head off that car is because I need an M10 ribe bit, which I've never even heard of before. And that is like almost like a bit like a big Torx bit is probably the best way to describe it. And I've got to take, I think there's 8 bolts, I think, on that head to take it out, to get it off, to have a look at what damage is done. Because I thought taking all the top off, I'd better see the valves, but no. Once you get those off, you've got the little hydraulic lifters, or are they called lifters? The little caps that go in it that sit on top of the valves. Yeah, if your valves are very brittle, absolutely be very careful. But of course, if you don't want to do replace the PCV system, you can do away with the PCV system and you can install a catch can instead. And the way the catch can works is it sits, normally hangs off your strut brace, is the word I'm looking for. Replaces a lot of the pipe work, and instead what it does is a breather pipe that comes into the catch can, brings all of the rubbish away from the engine into the catch can. It almost like condenses down in there, and then what comes out is the air back into the engine, and that allows what it's doing what the name says. It's catching all the oil and byproducts that are coming out of the engine, and gets all those contaminants in a pot. And then what you do is every now and again you go and unscrew the catch can and you can pull that away, get all the contaminants gone. That way you're not pumping it back into the combustion cycle, you're not doing more damage to the engine. So that's something to consider. Definitely think about doing a catch can if you're not worried about keeping the car OEM. I have an 04 plate 3-pointer rotor with 47,000 miles. Should I look into changing the crack pipe and hoses soon? The crack pipe? Is that a cracked pipe or a crack pipe? I'm not sure, Preston. I would, anything you can get changed. I mean, 47,000 miles is a low mile engine, probably worth a good price that as well. The Roadster, definitely. Um, you got the best of both worlds of a Roadster 3.2 because you get the roof down so you can hear the engine note even more clearly. So if you're going to have a Roadster, you can really hear that engine. Only downside, I think, of the 3. Well, this isn't a downside of a 3.2. This is the downside of the Roadster, I think, in general, because I've also got a Roadster, and the driving experience between the Roadster, the 225 Roadster I've got, and the 3.2 V6 is like night and day. This feels planted on the road. It feels solid. Whereas the 225 Roadster feels very wallowy because it's not as stiff, because obviously it's a Roadster, hasn't got a roof. And yeah, that's the only difference I'd say. So I'd imagine the 3.2, it's got a bigger engine at the front, a bigger lump at the front, it's more nose heavy, and you've lost that stiffness because of the roof. It probably is a little bit wallowy. So, but again, you know, the positive side is you get to hear that beautiful engine note with the roof down. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. I tell you what, I'm happy with my Miata with a go-kart engine. Yeah, absolutely, Garlic 9. Miata's a great car. I'll probably keep the PCV. I think they're going with silicon hoses via Creation Motorsport. Yeah, absolutely right. If you want to do it, has a squealing noise at startup. Yeah, that could be that squealing noise at startup. That could just be your auxiliary belt needs replacing. So don't be too concerned about that. Definitely worth changing that out if you get a chance. I'm going to do that on my Roadster actually, because mine's got an annoying squeak as well. And I've changed the cam belt on mine, and didn't change the aux belt at the same time. And I had Bryn here when I did it, so I think that, or we think it might have been a pulley bearing that might be making a bit of a noise on it. But the aux belt got changed a few days ago. Unfortunately, oh, okay, so it's not that then. It might be one of your pulleys. The bearing's gone one of your pulleys. It could be making a squeak. It's worth getting a bit of WD-40 and just spraying all the different pulleys and see if the noise goes away. You can get a can of WD-40 with a lot of these, like the long nozzle. Get one with a long nozzle like that. Get it right in the pulley bearing and give it a little shirt like that. That might, if the noise goes away by squirting the pulley bearing, you know what it is, and then you can easily replace it. Now, I wouldn't have thought the tensioner would be doing it. Well, it could be the tensioner, but we check the pulleys too. Okay, but I might try. Yeah, try that. Give it a go, and it might be the tensioner. So when you change the cam belt, I think the word then, there are other things that you should change at the same time. So you should change the water pump at the same time. You should also change the hydraulic damper as well, and also the tensioner. Tensioner's like a little round wheel with looks like a little caster. Definitely change those all at the same time. Now the hydraulic damper has got like a little wheel that comes with the pack that you change at the same time as well. Little silver roller you can change, but I changed the whole hydraulic damper at the same time to be safe and sorry. Better to be safe than sorry. But some of the jobs I've got coming up, keep talking about. Stephen's done this job. I've got the fuel filter to do on this car. So that is a job I'm doing on this car very shortly. Changing the Bosch fuel filter on it because it will make sure it's running nicely. It even comes with a little papaya lid on it. Look, papaya lids on top and bottom. Colour code to the car. I don't think that was on purpose, but you know. Oh, someone just commented on the video. I bought our 3.2 GOGS 244. I haven't read that comment, so I will check that out at some point, see what that comment is. What else have we got? All sorts of little things I find in the garage when I'm having a little look around. These are, I bought a pack of 10 of these. So these are the number plate bulbs on a Ford Fiesta, but they also do things on an Audi TT. They're like a generic bulb. I don't know if you can see those. They're like little clear bulb with little 2 metal bits hanging at the end. You buy a pack of those because they're always worth the amount of cars that come through the garage here with the TTs, the Fiestas. They're always blowing bulbs. I've always got a load of bulbs on the shelf so you can just swap them out. It's just worth having. Saves you having to nip out to the garage and buy stuff all the time, you know. So also a question I've always wondered, what windscreen wipers do you use? I can never find any that fit properly. Mine are just Bosch windscreen wiper blades. Mine are just the Bosch blades that I do. replaced the drive shaft on my Fiesta today. Carrier bearing went. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, drive shafts are not bad on the Fiesta. I haven't got a video actually on the drive shaft. Actually, I must do that. I've got a video on the lower control arm. I've got a video on the rear bushings, on the axle bushings, which everyone says is a real challenge. I found it not too bad. If you take your time on it, it's one of my more recent videos on the Fiesta. In fact, do you know what? I love the Audi TT to bits, and I love doing content on it. I love talking to you guys, and the majority of my followers and subscribers are Audi people, and I love that. So thank you all very much for watching it. But of my top 8 videos every day, every single day, 7 out of those 8 will guarantee be Fiesta videos. And I've only got about 15 Fiesta videos and about 600 Audi videos. But I guarantee, because of the number of people that own a Fiesta, that everyone wants to watch the Fiesta content, believe it or not. But the people that interact with the channel, enjoy the channel, they are the Audi people. So I want to thank you all. A massive thank you to my members. There's quite a few of you out there tonight. So Christoph's out there, Stephen Craddock. I know Richard's out there as well. A lot of members are out there. Phil was out there as well. A lot of members out there tonight. So I really want to thank you all for supporting me and supporting the channel. You probably noticed in my video, at the end of the videos, your name appears. So as a thank you to all my members, I always include your names in my videos. If you're ever unhappy about having your name in the video, please let me know. I like to shout you all out in the videos though. So if you're happy with that, I'll carry on. But if you want your name removed from that list, I'm happy to do so. Some people, some of my members don't like their name in there and I don't include them. But if you do want to be excluded, I'm happy to do so. But if you're happy to be included, I'll do. But again, guys, if you're not a subscriber, if you're not a member of the channel and you want to support me, then definitely click the little link below. You can join the channel as a member and help support me and do what I do. If you want to happy support me and buy me a cup of tea tonight for keep me warm in the garage, there's also the little dollar icon down there. You can buy me a cup of tea. But any donations are mostly greatly received. I'm happy to have them so I can buy myself a cup of tea because it does get rather cold out here. Although I've got this fantastic little gilet on that Carl Foreman bought me to keep me warm. So I've got a little battery pack in the pocket that keeps me nice and warm while I'm out in the garage. He sent me some foot warmers as well, of all things, which I've not yet used. Carl, if you're out there, thank you very much, sir. I know that you're normally watching also in the shadows there, no doubt. But yeah, what else am I going to talk about? I've got these. I've not put these on the car, right? But oh, that's not good. What should I do with these? What should I do? So these are actually from the Audi shop. So a friend of mine, Victor, who comes to the show in Belgium, he bought me these. I need to put these in the car. So these are actually Audi number plate surrounds. These are actually genuine Audi ones. With Audi tradition on them. Look, there you go. Audi tradition on them. And they've come from the Audi Tradition Heritage Museum in Germany. I need to put them on the car, but what car should I put them on? Because they're not technically OEM, are they? So should I put them on the Roadster so I can take them to France with me? Maybe I should, because I am taking the Roadster on a journey around France. Myself and the wife are doing a lap of France this year for our wedding anniversary. We've been married 25 years. It's a long time, isn't it? So we're going to do a lap of France this year, and we're going to drive down to Monaco in the car and come back in the Roadster. Now, if I was doing it in either of the cars, I'd probably prefer to do it in this one because you've got a bit more luggage space because you can fold the seats flat and you've got all that boot space. But the downside is that, you're going in the summer, you want the roof down, don't you? So we're going to take the Roadster instead. What have we got there? Is there an oil pipe on the 3.2 that needs checking, else it starves the engine? No. Right. So Matt's Motorsport. If you've got a 1.8T engine, there is a pipe in the sump called the oil pickup pipe. And I always get to this point of the evening and I look around to try and find my old oil pickup pipe, and I can never see it when I need it. But essentially, the oil pickup pipe is like a sieve, and it sits in your sump, sucking up the oil and pumping it around, or feeding into the engine to pump around and oil your car, right? Now, the 3.2 V6 also has one, but it has a much bigger oil reservoir and it doesn't suffer the same problem. Now, what happens with the 1.8T model is that little sieve gets full of like little bits of rubbish. The PCV system breaking down, parts of that rubber piping end up blocking it up. And what it does, it starts to starve the engine of oil. So, of course, you get the little red oil can on the dash that says low oil or oil pressure low. So what you do is you get out the car, you turn the engine off, you go and check the oil, the dipstick, pull it out. There's loads of oil in the sump, isn't there? Because it's not going around the engine. So you get in your car and you carry on driving it. And then, of course, what you're doing is you're damaging the engine because that filter is blocked and it's not able to pump the oil around the engine. Now, the 3.2 V6 doesn't suffer the same problems as the 1.8T because it doesn't have the same problems with the PCV system breaking down. So it's not as big a problem on the 3.2. But what the 3.2 does do is it does throw that error on the dash of the oil pressure sensor. And it will beep as well at you and it will show the oil count. And they tell you to turn the engine off if that happens. And do not drive that car and get it towed home. Okay, that's the advice. And people should do that. However, the cars are all getting about 20, 22, 23 years old now. And that sensor, there's a sensor called the oil pressure sensor. And it is a pig of a job to do. And I've done it on the channel. You can check my video out. And if I had to do that again, guys, I wouldn't do it. I'd take it to a garage and say, there you go. There's the money. Get on with it. Good luck. Because it's such a pig of a job. Now, the oil pressure sensor sits, I wouldn't be able to reach it, but it's down here. So I'll put my hand in and probably touch straight away now. It's down here. Now to get to it, you can't do it by feel. Although someone did mention that if you remove the end of the inlet manifold off, you can get to it a bit easier. But I didn't do that. But what I did do is I went in as per the Bentley guide from underneath. First off, couldn't get to it. So instead, I took the bumper off and I took the front of the engine of the car off. And I got to the oil pressure sensor that way. Even with the front off, it's still a pig of a job to do. And I replaced it with a genuine sensor because do not use aftermarket sensors because they will cause you no end of problems. And a job like that, you don't want to do it twice. So if you're getting the red oil can light on the 3.2 V6, do turn it off. But I guarantee it's more likely to be your oil pressure sensor than it is a problem with your oil pressure. But the only way you're going to know is take it to a garage and get them to check your oil pressures in your cylinders to make sure there isn't a pressure problem. But it is normally the oil pressure sensor that causes the problem. And what happens is over time, because of what that is doing, the oil fouls the plug in the end and then it fails due to it breaking down. But yeah, so the problem with the 1.8T engine, the filter gets blocked. The problem with the 3.2 engine is the oil pressure sensor fails. Or if you're really unlucky, you get them both fail on the 1.8T. So hopefully, Matt, that answers your question. Got to go. Driving again now, Andy. Catch you later. Always a pleasure. Thank you, RZM Valkyrie. Thanks for jumping on tonight. Always a pleasure jumping on. Those are sick. Mine say Audi Vospon Dirt Technique. Yeah, I should get them on. So someone's saying, what is it? It starts engine. If you have got a 1.8T engine and you want to do this job, this oil pickup pipe, I've done a video on the oil pickup pipe for beginners because it's a bit of a daunting task, right? Because you are taking the sump off your engine, and that is a big job for a beginner. Now, when I say that, I count myself as a beginner, even though I've got the channel and I've done a few jobs. I'm still learning. I'm still a bit intimidated by these cars, if I'm perfectly honest. But I also like to share what you can do. And what I do with you guys, so you've all got a bit of an insight into what you can do, and also hopefully by seeing how I do it and seeing, well, Andy can do it, I can do it. Hopefully, it gives you a bit of confidence that you can try it yourself and you can do these jobs. Hopefully, I'm not thinking. What's that? Okay, thanks. Not the 3.2 then, just the 1.8, but oil pressure sensor for the 3.2. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. That's the way forward. If you are getting that red oil can light on the 3.2. Like to be the oil pressure sensor, or you've got an oil pressure problem. Where on the 1.8, you're getting that red oil can on it. It's like to be that your oil pickup pipe's blocked. If you've bought yourself a 1.8T engine for the first time, an Audi TT, and it's got no history, the jobs I would do straight away, I would do the oil pickup pipe, first off the bat. I would do the cam belt if there's no evidence of the cam belt being done, and I'd also give it a Haldex service, and of course just give it a general service, give it an oil, plugs, the whole kit caboodle. I'd actually give it. Those are probably 4 jobs I'd do. So an oil and filter service, I'd give it a Haldex service, I'd give it a timing belt change, a cam belt change, and also the oil pickup pipe. They're 4 key jobs, because if you don't do those 4 key jobs, one of those could come back and bite you. Change the oil sensor on the 1.8, you need a deep socket, you do. Yeah, do it on the 3.2, you need a lot of patience as well. So that's probably the best way to describe it. Stephen, while we've got you on and a chance to plug your channel, have you got any Audi TT videos that you want to plug that you've got on your channel that I think would help people out tonight, or something you've got coming up for the future, and people can go and check him out? So guys, if you don't already follow Stephen Harper VW, check him out on YouTube. He's another Audi TT Mark 1 YouTuber, and he also covers the Volkswagen Corrado and also the Volkswagen Golf Clipper as well. He's got a few little cars there that he looks after. Definitely worth checking him out. He's definitely a big VAG fan, so yeah, check him out. I've been out live for 100 minutes, so I might do another 5 minutes and then I might call it a night because it's getting a bit cold out here. How often do I need to service the Haldex? Do you know what? I don't, Mr. GMT1, I don't know the figures off the top of my head. I've got a feeling it's every 40,000 miles you change the oil. And then I think it might be 40,000 miles for the oil and filter and 20,000 for the oil. I've got a feeling. The oil we changed twice to every 1 filter, if that makes sense. I am going to get the Roadster in the garage and do a bit of a deep dive on the Haldex and some diagnosis on it, because my Haldex is not working on my Roadster. It could be something as simple as the earth strap has failed on it, which is likely. This has had a new earth strap put on it, by the way, this car, because we did that when we were trying to solve the ABS sensor problem. But the Roadster has definitely got a problem with the Haldex. Could be that. It could be a bad Haldex is causing a problem. It's had an oil and filter change. It could be a bad plug. It could be a connector. Doesn't throw any errors though, interestingly. So yeah, no can shown yet, thankfully. Yeah, long may that continue, Matt, as well. You don't want that. You don't want the oil can showing, because it is a bit of a nerve jangling moment when you see it. But yeah, so lots of jobs to do on the TT. Lots of maintenance jobs you should be doing, and winter time's a great time to get them done, because you're probably not driving it as much, and it gives you the opportunity with off the road you can do things. Although Mr. GMT1, I don't think it is winter where you are right now. I think as you're in the southern hemisphere, it is currently summer for you guys. But lucky old you, because it's freezing over here. But yeah, I'm also going to do some jobs that I'm coming up. I'm going to do that conversion for the brake pressure bleed that I was doing as well, where I'm using the lid off an old an old brake fluid reservoir, because that's the only way I can get that to fit well on the brake fluid bleeder. So I'm going to do a video on that. I'm also going to do the video on the deep dive into the alternator. I'm also going to do a dive on testing the starter motor as well, because I think that'd be quite useful for people. I'm in the tropics. Yeah, lucky old Joe, but it's rather quite clammy, I imagine, at the moment as well, though. Stephen Childers, 2001 1.8T with 5-speed four-wheel drive. I'm finding if my RPMs are high, I have to double clutch to get into fifth. Any benefit swapping out the fluid? That's the first thing I'd do. I'd absolutely swap out. I'd definitely give that gearbox a service, get the fluid off there. It's also worth maybe checking that the forks are all good on it as well if you're having trouble engaging the gear. But I think definitely a fluid change would be the first thing I would do to make sure it's all good. Absolutely. You might find that solves it out. The DSG as well, guys, if you've got a 3.2 V6, I would definitely recommend getting your DSG oil changed frequently as well. Oil changes on the engine itself, guys, every 6 months. Depending on the miles you're doing. Don't let the oil sit in the car because it will do damage to the car and cause damage to your chains. Get that oil out. I'm going to do an oil change on this actually when we are doing the alternator, because I think while I've got it all in bits, it's a great time to get it done. So it's all ready for going to the International TT show in just about 8 weeks' time now. Time's flying, isn't it? We've got to really got to really crack down now and get things going. So, yeah. Just having a quick flick through the comments. If you've got any more questions for me, guys, please let me know. There's still 22 people on, guys. So, hi, Tiku Leave You. Hope you're good. If you're enjoying what you're watching tonight, guys, please do give the screen a little double click. Give it a little thumbs up so I know you're enjoying what you're watching. Again, if you want to buy me a cup of tea, give the little dollar sign at the bottom. You can buy me a little cup of tea as well. Not expecting Mr. GMT to do that for me, because he's done that twice to me already tonight. So thank you as always. If anyone else wants to buy me a cup of tea, you're more than welcome to do so. I'll probably won't be staying on for too much longer tonight because I've got an early start tomorrow. Not as early as last week, because I was on the road at 5 o'clock last Tuesday, which was a bit of a really early start. But I'm in London tomorrow, so I don't want to be up too late. I've still got some work to do as well. What else do we want to talk about tonight? I think I was going to talk about oil tonight, but I might save oil for next week, guys. Oil for next week, because a lot of people are talking about the types of oil in the car. I see someone talking about 5W50 a day. I didn't know they did a 5W50. But, you know, a lot of people do 5W40. Some people do 5W30, depends on where in the world you are, I think, of what you want it, how you want it to. Your Audi, nice, good. Yeah, my Audi's lovely. Thank you very much. Going to close the lid on my, there you go. There it is. Oh, there you go. Clicked it into place. There is my 3.2 V6 in all its glory. Papaya, as always. I'm even like glowing the same colour as the car tonight, which is quite good. So hopefully you it gets a lot of love, this car. It's a very unusual car, and it is a head turner. That's the one thing about these beautiful papayas, is wherever you go, people do stop and look. Best videos on my channel is adding a boot opening button to the boot lid. The door lights, oh yeah, the puddle lights are really good. That's definitely what it's TT. No, yeah, it is a TT, Tiku. Yeah, it's a TT. Absolutely, it's a TT. My video where I connect my phone to the Bluetooth radio. Cool, yeah. I did see there's a few people asking about that today, actually, because there's a kit you can buy, isn't there, that plugs into the CD changer that allows you to connect Bluetooth to the car, so you haven't got to worry about those FM transmitter jobbies. Because they're okay, those FM transmitters, aren't they? But they're not great. I tell you what I've got. I can't find my oil pressure sensor, and I can't find my oil pickup pipe. But what I can find, I just spotted it over there, is I've got the tool that I fabricated to remove my oil pressure sensor. So I'm just going to grab it. So this gadget, this is what I made. It's like a little spoon, isn't it? This is what I made to remove my oil pressure sensor, because you've got to have it at an angle to bend around various bits in the engine. I had to grind out this patio heater spanner to the right size to fit, so it will fit around the sensor. But you can see that's the shape I had to bend it out to get it around that sensor, to move it around and get it out. So Stephen talks about a deep socket. So that was my solution to the deep socket, is I used that instead to get around all the components. So there you go. That is my trick and tip for doing it. I don't know why I've still got it, because I am not doing that job again. If it needs doing again, it's going to the garage. I can guarantee you of that. What else have we got hidden away? Gadgets in the garage to show you, to do things you can do. I've got lots of things I've fabricated. Oh, here's a someone was asking about crankshaft position sensors earlier as well. This is your crankshaft position sensor, and this sits down in the bottom of the block, just above the sump. Okay, and what this does, that's the outside of it, and it has a little hex bolt that holds it to the side of the block. And what you do, you disconnect the plug from it, and you take this bolt out, and then you wiggle it out. It's got a really annoying O-ring around it that makes such a good seal. It's hard to get it out of the block, but you get it out of the block, put a new one in. It's hard to get it back in. Thanks, Phil. You've got to go. Nice to see you, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you in Belgium. I'm sure we'll speak before, but nice. Thanks for jumping on tonight, buddy. Really appreciate the support. Stephen Crannett's got the Votex I bought from BWC. Used to get loads of attention, especially as it was my missus' car. She got told many times how clean it was. Yeah, they're a great car, aren't they? Particularly if Clue is in the title. Yeah, that is the title. You're right there, Richard. But this is the crankshaft position sensor. You can see it's got like little metal, little like magnet, so it's able to tell where the crankshaft is. Now, this tends to fail, and when this fails, the car starts misbehaving. It'll either not start, or when it overheats and gets hot, when this gets overheats, I'm saying there, the car will cut out and not restart, or it starts kangarooing and causing all the things that you think were maybe a fuel pump problem. It feels a bit fuel pumpy when this starts going wrong. Same as when the coil packs start to fail as well. They also feel a bit kangaroo-y. It's normally this. This is the gadget that failed on both the Roadster and the 3.2 V6. So you probably remember I broke down at Simply Audi probably about 3 or 4 years ago in the blue car. I had to be pushed across the car park, and it was down to this exact part. It was this part. I've kept it for that reason, because I always like to beat it when I get annoyed with it. It was this part that failed on the 3.2 V6. That was the thing that failed. But I've kept it. All good. But guys, it's getting cold, and I've had an hour and 10. I've about 110 minutes now by the look of it, and so there's still 15 of you out there. So I want to thank the 15 that have remained tonight. We've been on for nearly 2 hours, but it's getting cold, so I'm going to go in the house. There's going to be a whole host of things to talk about next week. We're going to talk oil next week as well. We're going to talk about my tips for servicing, and anything else you guys want to talk about, then please let me know. Please drop me a message in the week and let me know. I want to thank you all for being on, all my lovely members in the green there of their green names. Thank you so much for your support. You're amazing. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for sending me the WhatsApp, Rich. I'll get there in a minute, until I can't see it because obviously it's on this phone. But once I get off, I'll read your message, mate. Thank you for sending that, and I'll see what's occurring. I haven't heard back from those people about the speakers either, so I don't know if that was a bit of a scam, but I'll touch base with you anyway separately. But guys, thanks. Have a great evening. Yeah, thanks, Christoph. You have a good evening too. So guys, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate all the support and love as always. Take care. See you next week. And if you haven't checked out my video on the deep dive into are the 3.2 V6 prices going up right now, after this video, jump off and take a look at that, because that's definitely worth reading, watching, checking out. See what you think. Leave me a comment, leave me a like, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks all, guys. Thanks for being on tonight.